Alright. Two movies again we're talking about. And the first one is Men, which is kind of funny that I'm here to review Men. I don't think you want me to do that. Anyway, so the movie Men, it's by Alex Garland. He's done Ex Machina. He's done Annihilation. He did that show Devs on FX. I was supposed to say Hulu, but not the same thing. And this movie, like, initially when I saw the trailer, I was like, alright, so first of all, it's like A24, so it's like, oh, well, I gotta love it, because, you know, A24. And it's got, that Irish actress thingy. She was in, thinking about ending things, but that one, that weird Netflix movie that didn't make any sense, but did kind of make sense, and then had that really weird ending, yeah. So, she was in it, and so, like, before I go into spoilers, I really feel like the trailer kind of just told you the whole movie. I mean, nowadays a lot of movies, just like the trailer is the movie, you know? But I really feel like this one, like, after watching the movie, I was like, ah, fuck, I thought there'd be, like, more to it kind of thing. So, as you saw in the trailer, it's this woman, her husband died, you know, literally right in front of her, and she goes to, like, on, like, a vacation to, like, some, like, big house in the middle of nowhere, like you do, and then, like, weird things start happening. Even in the trailer, you notice that, how do you pronounce his last name? But Rory Kinnear, I guess that's, yeah. He plays, like, a lot of characters, because, like, you notice in the trailer, you're like, that's the same guy. And then, like, a lot of the trailer shows, like, you know, like, she's mentioning stuff, and then, like, the dudes are, like, kind of gaslighting her and all that shit, and then it's, like, you know, weird stuff is happening, and then it's just, like, the trailer ends with just the title, Men. And I remember, because I had already, I saw the trailer, like, on the A24 Instagram, so I was like, oh, okay. But then when I saw it, in person, when I went to go see Everything Everywhere All at Once, because it's another A24 movie, and the trailer popped up, and then once it hit the title card, which said Men, there's one woman in the audience that just went, ha! Like that. And I think if I would have, like, not seen it online and not known the name of it previously and all that stuff, and the same thing would happen, I would have been like, like, okay. It's kind of obvious, like, Alex Garland loves to, like, have his movies / show kind of thing about, like, women being traumatized and stuff. Like, I love Ex Machina. Like, I fucking love that movie. And, you know, I was just like, oh shit, okay, you know? Like, I initially went into the movie being like, I like, you know, Oscar Isaac. It's about robots? Cool. I like sci-fi stuff. I'm watching it. Then I'm watching it like, holy shit, there's more than I thought. Annihilation. I fucking love Annihilation. I love that Oscar Isaac was in that movie just like a of a time. Natalie Portman's in it, fucking Tessa Thompson, like, it's like, the movie was very, what's the term for lesbians? Was it sapphic? You know, that, very gay, very lesbianic, all that stuff, you know, the monster shit was like, it was very much trauma, and that movie went kind of like super wackadoodle, and you're like, okay. Whereas I feel like, with the movie Men, it was still trying really hard to be grounded in reality, whereas the other two movies was just like, oh, okay, it's gonna be like this, and then fuck it. Like, here's the idea of it, and then, whoa, especially Annihilation, it was like, I'm all the way over there. I really like the show Devs, you know, it was very interesting, those 8 episodes were great, you know, all that stuff. But again, this one I feel like, I don't know, like, not, like, a lot, I saw, like, the reviews on Letterboxd, which really is just like, wow, there's just, like, a lot of angry people on there. Those people must be great to talk to, normally, like, I bet you want to just put their faces in a meat grinder. Worst takes ever, some of these people have, but anyway, a lot of it seems like, anyone who might be female presenting in the reviews, or like, this is terrible, blah, blah, blah. And then anyone who's, like, male presenting is like, it's pretty good. fine with it. Like, I wish it could have been better. I wish it was more than what I saw in the trailer. I mean, there was, like, the ending part where it was like, holy fuck. And even then, it wasn't that much of a holy fuck for me. Probably, again, because I kind of have higher expectations because of Annihilation. You know, like, if I didn't know this director and if I didn't know his previous work, I probably would have been like, oh my god! But, like, because I have the expectation of Ex Machina, Annihilation, devs, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, so you were going kind of like, okay. You know, which is fine. Not everyone needs to do, like, 1,000% good work, you know? So, I guess I'll just go into spoilers, 1, 2, 3 spoilers. So, burp, yes, nope, there it is. So, turns out, like, okay, so the movie does a lot of, like, time flip-flopping, so it just shows her, like, going on her vacation and all the weird stuff is happening. Then every so often it'll flip back to when her and her husband were having an argument, and then, you know, when he died. And now that's shown with, like, an orange, like, kind of sunset-y filter, which is a very interesting choice for that, just because it's like, ooh, sunsets are nice and beautiful. And then it was just like, her husband died, you know? So, like, the whole husband thing is, like, he's having, like, this argument with her, and it's like, and he's like, I'm gonna kill myself, and she's like, you're not gonna win me back if you're, like, that doesn't do anything, you've killed yourself, you know, like, and then, you know, they're yelling at each other, like, just, like, the kind of yelling they did here, I rather have, like, not that I would have, because I rather not, have seen a whole movie with that than whatever the fuck A Marriage Story is, and that one with Zendaya where they risk COVID to shoot. Good God, just, like, yes, I need movies where heterosexuals are yelling at each other. I could just think back to my childhood with my parents. I'm being honest. Like, people are like, these movies are so good, it's so emotional, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't have parents that argue. Like, it just, anyway, back to this. So, they argue. She kicks them out of their apartment, and apparently what happened was the guy goes to the apartment above them, and then, like, pushes himself through it, and then tries to, like, enter the home by going on their like, the upstairs neighbor's balcony, and then trying to climb down to their own balcony, because their door is open. But he slips, because you could kind of see, you know, also, like, this is, like, UK territory and all that stuff, so it's gonna be rainy. So you can see how it like, especially how the sky was and the pretty sunset kind of look, it's very much like, oh, after it rained and it's all pretty looking kind of stuff. So you can see him, like, he's falling, he slipped, it's like, oh, you know, he's like, oh, you see in the trailer, and she's like, ah, and she's bleeding out her nose because he hit her, and then also, oh my god, like, the way how they, like, he's not just, like, just generally dead splat, but he also, like, got his, like, I think it was his, like, his hand caught on the, like, the spiky, like, you know, iron, you know, fence thing. It's like, clunk, ow, and I just hit myself in the glasses. And then, like, his one foot is all kind of over there, and he's just like, ugh, you know, all that stuff, just all discombobulated. So, yeah, it's like, holy shit, that's tragic. And then she's like, I need this vacation to get away from this, you know? And while she's there, like, Rory something, like, he plays all the characters, even a little boy where they, like, CGI, you know, not fully CGI babyface, but, like, you know, did that. And it is kind of creepy, and it's like, the priest was, like, saying shit like, maybe it was your fault your husband died. And it was like, whoa, okay, bro. And again, you saw that in the trailer. And at one point, she goes to the pub, and, like, everyone there. I think the actor, Rory, when he plays the police officer, is him, like, how you normally see him, and everything else was very, like, hair and makeup and teeth and whatever not. But, yeah, him as the cop was the only other woman. Well, no, there's two other women you see in the movie. There's, like, her friend, who I think is American, who she FaceTimes a lot, and then there's, like, the lady cop. Other than that, it's just, like, you see her husband, and then just Rory as every other dude in that town. What a choice to, like, choose that place. I mean, it was a very nice, like, house that I could see you would want a vacation, because it's like you're literally in the middle of nowhere and you want to get away from everything. And the dude said it has really good Wi-Fi, which I'm like, alright, I want that shit. You know? She has a car, so she always go, like, into town if she wants sandwiches or something, you know. But yeah, so like the weird stuff starts happening. She goes to like a tunnel kind of thing. She looks across, and you know it's all echoey. So you see in the trailer where she goes ha 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 ha, and she keeps doing that. She walks a little bit closer, and she keeps going like ha 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 ha. You know, it keeps like echoing back, and then it just kind of like shows something off in the distance, and it just like something looks like it gets up, and I'm watching. I was like, because I'm watching it like on here, not like a super big screen. I was still like, did somebody just move? Like somebody just get up? And then you just notice her like, oh shit, and then so she starts like running away, and then I think she gets to like the other side of it or something. I don't like. And then it was like, and it's like blocked off, and she's like, what? And it's like, you know, completely sealed, and then there's like a door. And it's like, what the fuck? The other side looked like it was completely, you know, like that. And then like, she's like, fuck it. So she like bolts back to the house, and then there's like kind of like a broken down kind of building house in the distance. She goes to take a picture of it, and there's like a naked guy standing there, and she's like, okay, and then she runs home more. And then next day she's like doing like, I think work or business stuff, and then she starts talking to her friend, and her friend is like, hey, give me the tour, and she's like, okay, you know, with her phone giving a tour. And then naked dude, who again is Rory, is like in the yard, and I noticed he was like kind of slimy and stuff, and immediately I immediately caught on what the movie is about, is that these guys become like he was born. Like I already was like, because they're the same guy. It's like it somehow gets gestated somewhere, and I'm like, they probably are born like in that tunnel. Like in my head, I'm like, there you go. So, you know, she calls the cops, they arrest him, all that stuff, and then later she finds out, when she was at the pub, that they let him go, and she's like, are you fucking kidding me? The guy was stalking me. What do you mean you let him go? And then this is where the cop gaslights her more, and she goes, well, you saw him twice. I don't know if he saw you, so are you sure who's stalking who? And it was just like, bruh. That part, and like when the priest was like, I think it was your fault, your husband died, kind of thing. It was just like, alright, son, come on. So of course, like, the owner of the place that she's renting out is like, appears to be the only good guy, but like, we all know, if they're literally cut from the same cloth, like, there ain't no one good, you know? So, more weird shit starts happening, you know, like her Wi-Fi gets cut, her power gets cut, and all that stuff. Before that, her friend was like, you know what, was it like a 3-hour drive, or like a 4-hour drive? She's like, I'm gonna make that shit in 3. She's like, girl, I'm gonna come see you, and we're gonna have fun together, you know, or like, we're gonna go home, or whatever, right? So, boom comes like the friend who's like gonna try to get there in 3 hours time. And then so all the weird shit starts happening, and so again, most of it you see it in the trailer. Again, that's one thing that like, that's why I kind of am like, ugh, with this movie, is because so much of it is in the trailer that once there's like the reveal, it's like I don't feel like it was like a oh kind of reveal. It's kind of like, ow. Like I said, you already saw slimy Rory, so I was like, yeah, he was probably gestated. So then you finally see like, so like towards the end when all like the okay, my allergies are really bad today. What is up with this shit? Ugh, my nose is itchy. Anyway, so you finally see like this looks like fucking was it like the Green Knight stuff, because it was just like a dude who just like plants is glued to his face, and then just butt ass naked, and he's like pregnant. He starts like walking into like her freaking yard, and she's like, what the fuck? And I'm kind of like, yeah. By that time, I wasn't even like, huh? Because again, the trailer showed me that every dude in the town is the same guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of, like, you just gave it away, man. Because, again, like, I'm not stupid, I don't know. I think they're thinking of, like, the average movie audience, which could be fucking morons. Because, again, I saw Avatar in theaters and people clapped at the end. Same thing with Transformers 3. So, you know what? Like, did someone... Come on, phone. My phone is like, can you apply to that job? You looked like, shut up, phone. Anyway, so Anywho, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, the thing is pregnant, and all of a sudden it's like it gives birth. It's got a poussoir, and you see the thing like coming through the pussy, and then I'm just like, okay, this is happening again. By this time, I'm not like, oh shit. I was just like, oh. You know, and it like comes out, another Rory comes out, and he's like, and the one behind it just deflates, and then he's kind of like a smaller, kind of maybe 20-something-year-old Rory, and he's like balloon pregnant, and then he's like, and then that just like doesn't even like come out the puss, that just fucking aliens out the stomach, and all that stuff, and then that comes out. And then it was just like, and then each and every one behind just like deflates and dies. And I'm like, how many of these do you go through before it's like, oh, you finally give birth to the one that stops giving birth, and then you have your city of Rorys, you know? I feel like that part where it's all grossly body horror and sticky, I guess you would call it, that's what I kind of wish, like, Crimes of the Future, the Cronenberg movie had. Like, it needed more mushy gushy body horror instead of just like everything is beautifully cauterized and there's no blood, and it's like, where is the sinew, where is the like that stuff, where is the makeup artist throwing down the gooky slime or like applying KY jelly to places so it's all gooky, you know? It's just like, oh, okay, anyway, it's just, you know, I'm like, anyway. So, finally, it's like, there you go. It's just, again, it's not like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, Ex Machina had more of like, oh man, that shit really made you think kind of movie, and again, it was really well acted, and the ending really got me all like, oh fuck. And then again, Annihilation, where like the person turns into one of the things, it's like all that. You're like, oh, I thought, you know. This one, I'm like, right. Oh, ugh, it's kind of gross. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, and then of course, like you know, she had like she had like the axe and all that shit, and she fought and survived, you know. And then her friend shows up in the morning, sees that her car is like wrecked, and she's like, oh god. Turns out her friend's Prager's, and you're like, oh Jesus. But she's fine, and then like the movie just ends and everything's fine. You're like, okay. Like, I don't know, man. I wish this could have been better. Like, the idea of it when I saw the trailer and went like, like that. Like, that was kind of like, oh, okay. But, like, now I'm watching it, again, it's like, so much of it was, like, in the trailer. And it's like, And also, like, the thing in the trailer where it kept, like, bringing back the thing. It worked really well in the trailer to build suspense, but, like, in the movie, it was just kind of like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of, like, not jarring, but it kind of just wasn't working, you know? It's like, you know what I mean? Like, this is great for the trailer. Not so much, you know, for that, oh my god, my allergies, Jesus Christ. It's finally not a bajillion degrees, and now I'm just itchy. Anyway, so I'm done talking about men. No, never. And we'll get to the next movie in a second.